Drop into the worst moment. No context, no names yet. Pure dread. On the morning of October 3rd, 1987, 7 fishing boats left the harbor of Lake Volta, Ghana. By noon, 5 of them were at the bottom of the lake. The 2 that survived weren't supposed to be there. Their captain had turned back, not because of weather, not because of engine failure. He turned back because his daughter, standing on the dock, had heard something that made the blood drain from her face. A voice coming from the water, and it said her name. This is the story of Abena Mensah and what happened on Lake Volta the day the spirit spoke. What's up, everybody? Before we get into this, I want you to understand something. This is not a legend. This is not folklore. There are police reports, there are survivor testimonies, there are families who lost people that morning who have never spoken publicly about what they believe caused it until now. So let's go back to the beginning. Lake Volta in Ghana is the largest man-made lake in the world by surface area. It was created in 1965 when the Akosombo Dam was built, and when the waters rose, they swallowed over 700 villages whole, entire communities, entire cemeteries, churches, shrines. They're all still down there. The fishermen who work Lake Volta know this. They've always known this, and for generations there's been an unspoken rule. You don't fish near the old village of Krobomanso. You don't anchor there. You don't stay after dark. Nobody ever fully explained why. They just said, the water is old there. It remembers. Kofi Mensah had fished Lake Volta for 31 years. He knew the rule. He respected it. He raised his daughter Abena on the stories, on the whispers about what lived beneath the surface of that part of the lake. But Kofi was also a practical man, a man with debts, a man with a family to feed. And in October of 1987, the fish near the old village were the best they'd seen in years. The first strange thing happened 3 days before the boat sank. Abena, who was 16 at the time, woke up in the middle of the night and walked to the edge of the lake. She doesn't know why. She just remembers her feet moving. She remembers standing at the edge of the water in the dark, the lake completely still, like glass. And she remembers looking down and seeing a face in the reflection that wasn't hers. She ran back inside. She told her mother. Her mother told her it was a dream. The second thing happened 2 days before. One of the elder fishermen, a man named Kwame, refused to go out with the fleet. He said he'd heard drumming the night before, drumming coming from beneath the water near the old village. No one else had heard it. His wife said he'd been acting strange for a week, not sleeping, not eating, just sitting and staring at the lake. Kofi noted these things. He was not a superstitious man. He went anyway. The third thing happened the morning the boats left, October 3rd, just after sunrise. Abena was standing on the dock, watching her father prepare. She says the water near the boats went completely dark. Not cloudy, not rough, just dark, like ink spreading from below. And then it stopped, and the water was normal again. She almost said something. She almost told her father to stay. She didn't. At approximately 11:40 in the morning, Kofi's boat was anchored about 200 meters from the old village site. By his account, the catch had been extraordinary. They were nearly full. They were getting ready to head back. And then the lake went quiet. Not calm, not peaceful, quiet in the way that makes your chest tighten. The birds stopped, the wind stopped, even the sound of the water against the hull stopped. Kofi said he looked up and saw the other 6 boats all doing the same thing. People frozen, looking around, nobody moving, like everyone felt it at the same time. Then the boat began to rock, slow at first, then violent. Not from waves. There were no waves. The surface of the lake was completely flat. The rocking was coming from below. Kofi said something hit the bottom of his boat once, hard, like a knock. The other boats were already going under. He says he doesn't remember making the decision to start the engine. He says the next thing he remembers is already moving, already far from the others, watching 3 boats simultaneously tilt and disappear beneath the surface. No warning, no capsizing, they just went down. He saved 2 men who were in the water. He tried to go back for the others, but the engine cut out every single time. Every single time. 23 men died that morning. Back to the daughter. This is where the supernatural becomes personal. Back on the dock, Abena said she felt it happen before anyone told her. She said she was sitting on the dock and the air around her changed, thickened. And then, she still struggles to describe this. She says she heard a voice. Not in her ears, in her chest. It said her name. Not Abena, her full ceremonial name, the name given to her at birth during a private family ritual, a name that only her family knew, a name that had never been written down anywhere. The voice said it clearly, once, and then the surface of the lake near the dock erupted. No explosion, no sound, just the water rising up in a column, like something enormous had surfaced directly below, and then going still again. Abena says she knew in that moment that her father was not coming home. He did come home. He was one of 2 captains who turned back in time. But Abena believes to this day that whoever or whatever called her name was telling her it had taken its share and it was done. Ghanaian maritime authorities investigated the sinkings. Their official report cited sudden structural failure across multiple vessels, a conclusion that most marine engineers who reviewed it found deeply unsatisfying, given that 5 different boats of different ages and builds all failed simultaneously. There were no storms. Sonar surveys of the lake floor near the old village site later revealed unusual formations, what some researchers described as methane pockets from decomposed organic material. That could explain sudden, violent pressure beneath the water. It could explain the boats. It doesn't explain what Kwame heard 3 nights before. It doesn't explain how a voice knew a name that had never been spoken outside that family. And it doesn't explain why, to this day, no fisherman on Lake Volta will anchor near Krobomanso. Not because of a regulation, not because of a warning, because the water, they say, is old there, and it remembers. Abena Mensah is in her 50s now. She still lives near Lake Volta. She still goes to the dock sometimes. She says she has never heard the voice again. She says she hopes she never does, because the first time it called her name, people died. She doesn't want to know what happens the second time. If this story got under your skin the way it got under mine, hit subscribe. I find these stories so you don't lose sleep searching for them alone. Next video drops day. Don't miss it.